Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Devin and I am going to be taking the 16 personalities test. I've been wanting to explain to you guys about who I am and let you guys know who I am, let you get to know me. But I didn't really know how. I was like, maybe I'll do a video explaining myself, but then those usually end badly, very badly. So now I'm taking a 16 personalities test because what lets you get to know me better than actually telling you who I am. Alright, so I am sick a little bit, so if you guys hear me coughing or sniffing, I am sorry. I'll try to edit some of it out, but yeah. Alright, so let's start this off. There's like 100 questions, I think, and it says it's supposed to take less than 12 minutes. That is a lie. It's going to take a lot more than 12 minutes. Alright, so you find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. So basically the layout of this is saying that try not to choose neutral. You could choose neutral, not answer it, but mostly it just says do all this, strongly disagree, partially disagree, maybe disagree, or partially disagree, or strongly disagree. You get it. All right. So I find it difficult to introduce myself to other people. So I'm assuming this means other people that are not me. Well, no. Okay, that was a stupid thing. I meant someone I don't know. So if you introduce yourself to someone I don't know. Okay, I'm dumb right now. I'm sick. My brain isn't working well. I'm sorry. All right. So, okay, I don't know. Usually when I meet some new people, I'm very skeptical about how they feel about me, but I don't find it difficult. So I will disagree, not fully, but I will. So you often get so lost in your thoughts that you ignore or forget your strengths. I do that a lot. A lot. I'm sitting in class or I'm sitting at work and someone's even directly talking to me. And I just start thinking and I'm like, what should I do for my YouTube that will be cool? What are my plans for Saturday? And then they're like, did you get that? And I was like, wait, what? Sorry. And then I get really caught up. So you're trying to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. So the thing is, I do not respond to half of my emails because it's best for me not to respond to them. It's usually a coworker saying, hey, do you want to trade me? And I'm over there like, I just shouldn't respond. Or half the time it's trade requests from work that have already passed. The day that they're asking to trade has already passed. So I don't usually check my email very much. And usually my email is way crammed up. But before bed, I always delete pretty much everything I need in there. So I guess you could say that, but honestly, I don't really at all. So you find it easy to stay relaxed and focused when there is some pressure. So when there's pressure, I find it easy to stay relaxed. So I do have just general anxiety and obviously a little bit of just worriness and blah blah blah. So I guess yeah. When there's a lot of pressure, I get very uncomfortable. So I guess yes. Yeah. When there's a lot of pressure on me, when I was going to driver's ed the other day, I was very anxious and really worried because there was a lot of pressure on me to pass the test and show up every day, and I was very uncomfortable. So yes. You do not usually initiate conversation. I initiate conversation all of the time. I hate awkward silences. They bother the crap out of me. You're talking to somebody and then they just go quiet and it's like, oh Lord. I was at a birthday party yesterday and I just kind of kept trying to get the conversation going because none of us ever knew each other. It wasn't the fact that the birthday party was the thing that was making it awkward. It's just the fact that we didn't know each other. Because a lot of people at that birthday party, no one knew each other. No one other than two people. And we all knew Jonathan, who is, Jonathan. It was his birthday a couple days ago. It was the 27th, but we had the birthday party yesterday. So we went to his house and we just kind of chilled. And I kind of kept conversation going because I didn't want it to go awkward silence and then nothing. There was M&M's there, though, and I wish I had some right now because I'm hungry. You rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. That is a lie, because I do a lot of things out of curiosity. But not all the time. A lot of the time, though, I sit there and I'm like, man, I wonder what this will do. So, yeah, it's just, yes, okay. You feel superior to other people. Okay, so the question is, do I feel superior to other people? Does it have to be I feel smarter than them, or is it like specific field? Because if it's like I am smarter than them overall in every single subject, or if I'm smarter than them in video editing or something, like of course I know a little bit more about video editing than most people my age because I've been doing YouTube for almost 3 years, and I've had to learn how to edit a lot of videos. So I do feel superior to other people a lot, but there are many other people who are smarter than me. But people my age, a lot of people my age at my school are like listening to Waka Flocka, and they're dressing like mainstream, and a lot of, like, you know, I feel a lot more superior when it comes to academics and also social, like, expectancies. So that could be taken as annoying, though, so I'm going to move on. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. So I'd rather adapt to somewhere or be organized. Well, okay, well, I don't know. That's like kind of in the middle for me because like I really like being organized, and having messy stuff like bothers the crap out of me. I hate being like, well, being organized to an extent. Like, I have a lot of labels on things. I have things where specifically things should go, but at the same time, like, sometimes there's clothes on my floor and chargers and backpacks, and I'm actually naming stuff that's on my floor right now. So, but, okay, being organized is more important to you than being yeah, being organized is nice, but at the same time, it's like, I don't even know. This is so conflicting. I don't even know right now. It's more important to you than being adaptable. Oh my gosh, my dad's on the roof. I can totally hear him. Jeez. Alright, so, excuse me. Alright, so I don't know. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. Well, like, if you don't adapt, then you can't. I say adapting is more important than being organized because you should do that first and then that second. Doesn't mean you can't do both, but you should do that first. All right. You're usually high motivated and energetic. I'm very highly motivated, and energetic is a lot, yes, but at the same time, sometimes I'm very tired a lot. So I don't know, I guess somewhere over there. So I'm usually not energetic. I lose a lot of sleep because I get motivated, and then I work on videos till 2 in the morning, and then I start losing sleep, and then I get non-energetic. So winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. That's a huge disagree. You should always make sure no one gets upset, because if you win a debate and someone just screams in your face, it can end you in very bad places. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. Yes, all the time I try to explain to people my situation and my emotional problems and how I can't control them, because I have to say, you gotta realize the reason why I'm doing this isn't to be rude, to be annoying, to be stupid. There's just some things that I don't know. There's some things that I can't control. So yes, that is a very big agree. Your homework environments are quite tidy. Home and work environments are quite tidy. So, of course, work environments are quite tidy because I don't really have my own office or anything. I have to work in a snack bar. So those are quite tidy and stuff. My home environments are... So it doesn't mean like actual full-on home environments or just your bedroom. So I'm assuming it means like my whole entire home. Because I don't know if these people are just thinking about like their actual whole houses. But I don't care about you, low disk space. Go away. Alright. So, yeah, they're quite tidy. I like how it says quite tidy. Like, it doesn't say fully tidy, so I'll agree fully on that. You do not mind being at the center of attention. I don't mind being the center of attention at all. And I don't want to be a douche and be like, give me attention right now. Like, no. I don't mind being at the center of attention. If it said you love being at the center of attention, or you always want to be, or you need to be at the center of attention, let me say. If it says you need to be at the center of attention, then that would be a huge disagree, because I don't need it. I don't mind it at all. Like, it's great to be the center of attention, but I'm not like one who says give me attention and I'm gonna get pissed off and annoyed if you don't. You can consider yourself more practical than creative. Okay, I'm very practical, but I'm very creative. In my eyes, I'm very creative. Actually, no, I'm not. So, I'm pretty creative, but a lot of things... So, I'm creative, but people can really guess that. And so, I don't know. I guess you could say that. So, there you go. People can rarely upset you. That is a lie. A lot of people can upset me because I'm very insecure. I have a lot of emotional problems. I have a lot of things going on. So, like, everyone always has things going on. And a lot of people have emotional problems. So I'm not trying to be like, everyone notice my problems. Like, they're very common a lot. And it's very common, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be treated very, like very seriously. So, but yeah. People can upset me a lot because I'm very insecure about how people think about me. So right as I walk up to them, I am always constantly thinking about, am I bothering them? What should I say? Should I, like, if I say this, am I going to bother them? Yeah, so there's that. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. That is true, but I usually always plan out how to get there, how long it's going to take to get there. But the one thing that I don't usually plan is how to get home. So that's okay, yes. It's very well planned out. It is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. That is a lie. I relate to a lot of people's feelings because a lot of things have happened to me. So when people explain things to me, I usually can somehow connect on some level. Not fully to where it's like I understand 100% about what you're saying, but at the same time it's like I understand, but your mood can change very quickly. Yes, but at the same time, no. So I'm going to say over there, my mood is usually based around a lot of things, but I'm affected like a normal person would be, but maybe just a little bit more, so. Okay, we're only at 30, and I bet this video's got like 10 minutes in already. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. That's not exactly true, because sometimes, like, a white lie might be nice. Like, a white lie is, like, something that will help them by lying. So, I don't know. If someone says, like, man, this means a lot to me, but should I go smoke weed in the back of the school? And then instead of saying, like, yeah, just because it means a lot to them, you should be like, I don't, that was a stupid thing. I don't know why I brought weed into that situation, but, so it's like if someone says, like, if a girl walks up to you and says, hey, does this dress look good on me? And it really doesn't, then, like, you're not just gonna be like, no, that looks ugly as balls on you. Then she'd cry and run away. So I feel like the truth might not always be the answer. You should always be like, oh, that looks beautiful. But yeah, everyone's beautiful in their own way. It's just many people don't understand that. But true, important. Okay, so yeah, that's a lie. You rarely worry about how your actions affect the other people. Wait, did I answer this one right? Okay, yeah. You rarely worry about how our action. Okay, that is a lie. Like I said before, I'm always insecure about how other people think of me and how I'm affecting them. So that is a lie. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than it is to methodical and organized approach. It used to be always random energy spikes, especially when it came to YouTube, because I would always like post and then like wait 3 weeks and then post for a whole week long and then wait 3 weeks. But then over the weekend, I've started to get like really consistent with videos, so I've started to like really get in the role of it, so that's really cool. But so I guess, but now it's like I've started to post and get into the role of it, and that's usually how it is in my everyday life. Is it's a methodical and organized approach, because if I'm not organized and methodical, then you can't get anything done, especially in school. If you have random energy spikes or random work spikes, you can't get anything done. You can't just not do anything, do really good for one term, and then just drop. So that is true. Your work style is closer to random energy. No, that's a disagree, but not fully, because there is sometimes that I just have random energy spikes. You're often envious of others. I am very envious of others a lot. Very envious of others. Alright, so, an interesting book, or video game, well, yeah, I'm gonna change this over here. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. All the time. I'm sorry, I feel like I also have, like, social anxiety. And also very big, like, when I'm around groups, I start getting really anxious, because it's like, I get insecure when I'm around people. And when I'm around one person, I'm constantly thinking in my brain, like, am I bothering them? Am I saying this wrong? Blah, blah, blah. So when I'm around a group, it just gets so overwhelming, because now I'm thinking about how I'm affecting, like, 17 other people. So, yeah. Yeah. I'd rather prefer reading a book, because I'm writing a book. I kind of like reading, not too much, but... And then a video game, of course. Everyone likes video games. If you don't like video games, like, go back to your home planet. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. Yes, you always need to make a plan and stick to it. You can't just go into something blinded unless that's the plan. If your plan is like, you need to go into it not knowing anything, then that's the plan. But you can't just do something and then just go with it. You can't film a movie without making the script, without getting the people. You can't just be like, the end. Okay, so there's that. Okay, yay. We are not even halfway done. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. I, a lot, get carried away by fantasies and ideas. Not all the time, but a lot I do. So, you often find yourself lost in thought when you are walking in nature. Yes, all the time. Because if I'm walking in nature, especially alone, it's like the only thing you have is your thoughts. And then when I resort to my thoughts, it's always kind of a confidence booster of like stop worrying too much. And it's also ideas and fantasies. Okay, so if someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. I lied because I never really respond to emails. And at the same time, if it's messaging and stuff, I understand that people are busy. I'm not going to be over there like, you didn't respond within the first 5 minutes. Like, you hate me. I said something wrong. It's like, no. Like, I don't do that. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. Yes. Not all the way, because of course I want him to be somewhat smart. But kindness is always, you'd rather see your child. Okay, so, you know what? No, fully agree, because, like, of course he can be smart and, kind, but I would rather see him kind than smart if I had to choose between the two, because no one likes a smart ass, and then, like, being kind is, like, no matter what, you need to be, like, respectful. So you do not let other people influence your actions. That is a lie, because I always, like I said, I'm always insecure about how other people think, so I have to adjust to what they say and how they feel. I'm very good at reading people, because I'm very good at, like, I need to read people to get more comfortable around them. That's why I don't like meeting new people, because when I know my friends, I get to know how they think, how they act, so I know what to do and what not to do, and I know how they're thinking. No, not fully, but at least the idea. But when I meet new people, I don't know how they think, I don't know how they act, so I get very nervous. So I always am worried. I let people influence my actions, because I read people, and then if I can tell they're, like, annoyed or something, then I never do that ever again. And it influences how I act. So your dreams tend to focus on the real world and its events. Yes, because it always has. Like, does it mean my dreams like my wants and needs, or like my actual dreams? So either way, they always do. My actual dreams, like when I sleep, they always are focused on the real world and its events, and then my actual dreams are like about the real world and its events. So both ways, that would be fine. All right, we're halfway done. Yay! Woohoo! We're getting somewhere within the last 20 minutes. It's probably only been like 10, and I'm just being crazy. I don't know. All right. It does not take much time to start getting involved in social activities at your workplace. It does not take you much time to start getting involved in social activities? That's a lie. I will do it when I need to, but I'm not going to voluntarily ask and be like, hey, can I participate in this event going on? Like, well, yeah. There was a really cool party catered by Texas Roadhouse, and it was an employee party at my work, and I wanted to go so bad, but my grandma's Christmas party was on the same day. I felt so bad. I was like, I want to go and eat some Texas Roadhouse with my coworkers, but I can't. You are more of a natural improviser than a careful planner. I don't improvise. I plan. Like, sometimes I improvise and just go into it if I need to. Like, if I feel like there's no way I'm going to pull this off unless I just wing it right here and now, there's no time to plan, then I do it. But I am more of a careful planner. I plan everything. I make sure it's in working order. I need to plan so I'm reassured that everything's going to be all right and that I don't have anxiety attacks because I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. Both of my parents are out of country. I don't know what to do. I'm in the middle of Mexico. There's people running towards me. And Trump is saying he's going to build the wall. What if I don't get across the wall in time? And, problems. All right. Your emotions control you more than you control them. That's true, because I'm anxious and stuff, and I'm insecure, and they control me, and they affect how I live my life. But at the same time, I have learned how to manipulate them to my own convenience. So they control me more than I control them, but at the same time, they don't. But it's the thing of, do I manipulate them more than they manipulate me? No, because they control me, but I learn how to deal with it. So I say yes, but also no. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress up or role play activities. Social events make me anxious, and dress up would make me even more anxious. And I've never actually done that before, so I'm just going to say disagree because I've never really done that before. Like, if it's a movie, I guess, like, if it's like a little... Yeah, no, that makes me very, very nervous, kind of. I don't really enjoy it. It just kind of makes me nervous. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical, yet intriguing ideas. Unrealistic and impractical, yet... Yeah, I think of stuff that's probably not going to happen, but it would be nice. Like, everyone does that. They always dream of things like, hey, what would happen if this happened? Like, you would always think, like, what would happen if we found something, like, that was, like, light years away from Earth? What if we figured out what the universe was made of? How big the universe is? It's like, that's probably never going to happen. Well, maybe. But yeah, you know what I mean. You'd rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. No. I don't. I'd rather have a detailed plan all the time. And that brings me back up to this one over here. No. Because I said sort of on this one because it's like you're more of a natural improviser than a careful planner. This says what you are, and this asks what you want to be. I am more of this. I'm slacking a little bit. Oh, no, right here. I'm slacking a little bit, but I would rather full on be a detailed planner. No. Okay. You're a relatively reserved and quiet person. I'm not very quiet or reserved. I'm very skeptical about how others think. So I think you can take away from this whole entire video that I'm very insecure about myself, because a lot of these questions resort back to that. But yeah. You are a relatively reserved and quiet person. I'm not very reserved and quiet. Sometimes I'm like, don't like to say anything, but most of the time I'm usually the one that kind of breaks through my own insecurities and says I need to start a conversation or else I'm in trouble. If you had a business, you would find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees. I would, but at the same time, it's like, you're underperforming. So sometimes. I don't want to seem heartless and be like, yeah, no, I'd just fire him. But I do find it difficult, but not like so much to where it's like, I'm not going to fire him because I feel bad for him. It's like, I'd rather think on the positives and think I'm firing him and he's going to find a better job to where he, like, gets in, like, I don't know. I'd rather think on the positive, thinking he learned his lesson because I fired him rather than I'm firing him and he's going to ruin his life. But, like, you often contemplate the reasons for human existence. Do I? Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I do. I don't think, like, why do we exist? But I do kind of think, like, controversial topics sometimes, but, like, towards that field. So I'm going to say yes, but, yeah, I'll do that. Because I don't really do it for human existence, but, because I know, I know why we exist, and at least most of the time. At least I know why I exist. I know what I want to do in life, but, I hate this cough. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. That's in between. You also have to think about logic, but then mix it with heart. So it's more important than heart. That's a lie. That's neutral. Like, it says try not to answer neutral, but it's literally neutral. Like, logic is more important than heart. Like, heart, a lot of the time, is, okay. No, because heart weighs out the logic a little bit more. But at the same time, you have to be logical. You can't just do something purely off of your heart when it's not like... You can't be like, oh, I'm going to buy my husband a Ferrari for Valentine's Day, but you got to look on the logistics saying you can't afford that. Because if you go ahead and buy a Ferrari, then you're in deep debt and then you're screwed. Like, you could, but it's more important that, like, yeah, sure. Logic is more important than heart a lot of the time, so, yeah. Yeah. Well, thinking about it actually changes your answer, so... This is nice that I'm talking about it. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. Yes, because I like having my options open. Excuse me. I like having my options open because if you have a to-do list and then you follow it, it's like, yeah, you got that done, but at the same time, you have no freedom of what you're doing. You could be like, hey, today I was going to go ice skating, but for the same price, or maybe even lower, I could go bowling, and I like bowling more. But if you're like, nope, gotta follow the to-do list, gotta go ice skating, it's like, no. Like, that's kind of a weird way to say it, but it makes sense in my head, and that's who I am, so. If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support than suggest. Wait, yes. When people are sad, especially when it comes to depression, when people are depressed, they don't want to hear, oh, you're okay, like, we'll get you counseling, like, we'll take you, and we'll talk to your parents, like, we'll take you to this teacher, and then, he'll deal with it, and we'll talk to the counselors, and they don't want to hear that. Like, it might fix the problem, but mostly when they're depressed, especially about themselves, the thing they want to hear is emotional support, saying, I know, I really understand to an extent about what you're going through. I sort of get it. This thing happened to me. Don't take it out of proportion to the point to where you're like, oh, like, don't shove them out of the situation. Don't be like, oh yeah, I experienced the same thing, and then go off for 20 minutes about your story. Like, be like, I kind of experienced something like that. But, like, just give them emotional support. Kind of talk good about them. It will make them feel better about themselves, rather than just being like, oh, you need a counselor, and then just send them somewhere else, because that does nothing for them. They went to you for a reason. They didn't go to a counselor. If they wanted to see a counselor, they would have directly went to the counselor. So next. When it comes to suicide, if they're like getting suicide thoughts, then immediately go to a counselor or notify a parent. Do not take that very loosely. All right. You rarely feel insecure. That's a lie. I feel insecure all the time. Like you guys know, I'm insecure all the time. All right. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. Yeah. I find it somewhat difficult, but not really all the time. Being right is more important than being cooperative. No, that's a lie. You got to be cooperative. Being right is like, that's the competition. I feel like sports has kind of screwed people over because they get really competitive about whether they're right or not. And I want to see what it would be like if sports were never invented. And that's like highly impossible because sports is like a natural instinct. It's like language. Like, this is a little kind of a splurt off of this conversation, but like, if you ever lock, like, a baby from birth, if you never said a word in front of that baby, and then you locked him in a room for, like, his whole life, and then you fed him, and then you, like, gave him water and stuff, and of course, but you never said a word around him his whole life, he would develop his own kind of a language, just because it is instinct for a human to develop a language, to talk. It's communication is instinctive for us. So, but yeah, so you think, but yeah, so that, I was just talking about how sports has, like, screwed us over because it makes us very competitive in any stage of life, meaning being right. Sports may affect being right a lot because instead of just being right, like, instead of not being right and just being cooperative, a lot of people say, no, I want to be competitive and then be right. So they like competition. A lot of people like competition. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. They should be respected. Everyone should be treated with respect. I didn't do that. Everyone should be respected. Everyone should be respected. End of story. Like, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, no. Respect should always be a thing. Whether it's supported by facts or not, a lot of things are not supported by facts and stuff, but, like, it may be the most absurd thing you've ever heard, like, no, donuts are made of, like, human brains. It's like, I have a conspiracy theory that donuts are made of human brains. It's like, no, they're made of dough. But you can still treat them with respect. You can respect them. You may not agree with them, but you can respect them. And that's something that is very scarce in this world today. Alright. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people? After spending time with a group of people and then leaving, I don't feel energetic. I usually, am wasted when it comes to energy, but sometimes I do. Like, sometimes it's like, wow, that was cool. Like, if they stay with me after I spend time with them, then that's good. But once I go home alone, it's like I'm exhausted. So So that's a disagree, but not fully. You frequently misplace your things. I don't really misplace my things a lot. I do sometimes, but not very much at all. So yeah. Okay. You see yourself as a very emotionally stable. I'm very emotionally stable. I'm very manipulative towards how I think and how my instincts are and my natural reactions to things. Like my mental, like, I don't want to call it mental disorder. Like sometimes they could be, but at the same time, it's like I've never been diagnosed with anything, so I don't want to say something that might not be true. But like I'm very good at keeping them where they should be. So I'm very emotionally stable. Like I do have a lot of problems, but I'm very good at keeping them there. But yeah. So you see yourself as very emotionally stable. Yes, but not fully. Okay. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. Yes. Not always, but yes, most of the time. You would not call yourself a dreamer. That's a lie. I call myself a dreamer a lot. I dream about a lot of things. Every single human being is a dreamer. There is always somewhere a human wants to be. You could be living in the middle of the LA hills with $1 billion house and getting 1 million views on YouTube, and you could have millions of dollars and 900,000 Ferraris in your garage, and you could own the whole world, but you would constantly think about improving, and you would always dream about having something more. So everyone's a dreamer. So you usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. Many people, yes. I find it very difficult to relax because when you're talking in front of, well, I'm actually very relaxed when I'm talking to many people, but it's just the fact that like you're talking in front of them. It's like, it just depends on like scariness. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experiences than your imagination. Yes, not fully, but yes, because my experiences are many things that are like I need to handle this same situation the way I did last time, or I need to handle it differently than I did last time. You do it on your experiences rather than being like, I imagine that this will go well if I say this, because this is based off of facts, this is based off of whim. So that. You worry too much about what other people think. I do worry too much about it. I worry way too much about it, but I can't help it just because it's the way I am. But yeah, so that's bad. If your room is full, you stay closer to. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls and avoiding this. I don't really do that. I've never thought to myself 100% like. I've never thought to myself 100% the fact that like I need to be on the walls. Like I'm just where they put me or where I end up. So yeah, I don't really avoid it. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there is enough time to do everything. Yeah, yes. Not all the time, but most of the time, yes, I do that a lot, and it's bad. I feel very anxious in stressful situations. Yeah, not very anxious, but yes, I do. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. Very much. I would rather have a YouTube community that, just the fact that I formed a YouTube community and the fact that we're all together and the fact that they like appreciate everybody, not just me for being like, thank you for creating this community for us, like creating the community for everybody. And like, I find it more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful, because it's like, I'd rather be like, oh man, I have 1 million views on YouTube, I'm so powerful, I'm like awesome, this is so rewarding. No, I'd rather be everyone likes me on YouTube rather than me being happy because I'm popular on YouTube. So you have always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things, example in books, arts, or movies. Yeah, because I actually do all these. I've been doing books and arts, and we're actually putting on a movie, so that's a cool thing. You often take initiative in social situations. No. Sometimes I do if it's needed, but most of the time I try to stay away from social situations because they make me nervous and anxious. So, alright, we're done, yay! So, let's see what I was. Okay, so I've taken this before in my health class, but that was like a few months ago. And I got a protagonist. So let's see if they've changed, because I feel like these are a little bit more like true after talking about it, rather, because when I did it in health, I did it sitting down in a really quiet computer lab and I had no way to think of it. I was thinking in my own brain. But now that I feel like I'm talking to somebody else, it's like I feel this is a lot more true. Like, I'm not anxious or stressed out or insecure about how you guys people think. Well, I'm insecure about how you guys think about my coughing and coughing and sniffing. But right now, I'm not facing you face to face, and I don't really get I'm not very insecure right now. So I feel like a lot of these are very true, especially after talking about them and thinking about them a little bit more than just in my head. So maybe it will change. That will be cool. So is it different from the protagonist? Oh, nope. I'm a protagonist again. Alrighty then. So, alright. My mind is halfway extroverted and halfway introverted. I'm very intuitive and not very observant. That is very true. I have a lot of feeling, not many thinking, because feeling is very, very, I don't know. I don't judge. Okay, I don't find that. You know what? That's true. A lot of people get defensive towards the way they actually are, but I do judge people a lot. But everyone usually... It's like the word consequences. It's like usually people match up the word consequence with negative things. But, I judge, but in a good way. I judge people to where it's like, yeah, in a good way. And I'm very turbulent, not assertive. Alright. So, yeah, protagonist. Alright, everything you do now ripples outward and affects everyone. Your posture can shine your heart or transmit anxiety. Yup. Ouch. Your breath can radiate love or muddy the room in depression. Ah, this is so true. Your glance can awaken joy. Your words can inspire freedom. Your every act can open hearts and minds. This is so true. Protagonists are natural-born leaders full of passion and charisma, forming around 2% of the population. They're oftentimes our politicians, our coaches, and our teachers, reaching out and inspiring others to achieve and do good in the world. With the natural confidence that begets influence, baguettes. Would you like some baguettes? Baguettes, influence. Protagonists take a great deal of pride and joy in guiding others to work together to improve themselves and their community. I really like telling people to improve, and I love teaching people how to make their life easier. So yeah, and this is just a bunch of other stuff about this. People you may know who are protagonists: Barack Obama, Oprah. I am Oprah. Woo! I'm Oprah. Okay, so I actually never looked at this when I took the test, so this is cool. Good. There's a gun. Jennifer Lawrence. Oh Lord, I'm gonna be the Hunger Games. Demi Lovato. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I know who that is, but I don't watch The Matrix. I've never seen The Matrix, which may be surprising to you guys. This is a lot easier. Alright, alright. That's cool. Alright. Strengths and weaknesses. Alright. Protagonist strengths and weaknesses. Protagonists are true team players, and they recognize that means listening to... Okay, so I'm going to read these. Tolerant, reliable, charismatic, altruistic. Uniting these qualities to protagonists' unyielding desire to do good in and for their communities, but in their own home and the global state, warm and selfless protagonists genuinely believe that if they can just bring people together, they can do a world of good. They can do a world of good. Yes, that is very true. Authority themselves, protagonists often end up in leadership roles at the request of the cheered about. So, this is like the expectancy. But then really, in this world today, I feel like many people are, I don't know. It's very easy to get off track and not reach those kinds of goals. So that's what a protagonist should be. But a lot of people don't realize the potential that some people have, and they shove them out when they really could be a great worker. So, I'm too selfless. Protagonists can bury themselves in their hopeful promises, feeling other problems as their own and striving hard to meet their word. If they aren't careful, they can spread themselves too thin and be left unable to help anyone. That is so true. This is so true. Like, you bring yourself down so much because you try to help someone with their situation. They're feeling horrible. So you try to help them. And then it just ends badly because you end up wrecking yourself by trying to find the solution. It is so true. And I'm way too sensitive. Oh, this is so true. I'm very... Like, I struggle to make tough decisions, but I also struggle to make not tough decisions. Like, I always struggle when it comes to, like, just finding out what cereal to eat. Alright. Oh, Lord. Alright. Now let's move on to romantic relationships. We're about to get a little romantic up in here. Let's do this. That was weird. I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. Even in the dating phase, people with the protagonist personality type are ready to show their commitment by taking the time and effort to establish themselves as dependable, trustworthy partners. Yes, I am willing to take the time, but many others aren't willing to take the time, so that's why I usually get sad. And this is stuff I don't want to read, really. You cannot escape the responsibilities tomorrow by evading it today, you know. Protagonist tendency to avoid and kind of conflict, sometimes sacrificing their own principles to keep the peace. Sometimes you sacrifice your own beliefs, like, when you for sure know you are right. And like I answered that other question before, you for sure know you're right, but you respect them and you want to be cooperative, so you shut up and you just say yes and let them be their own person. So that's that. Friendships. The velocity of genuine connection is the core to protagonist personality type. And while it is invisible in the workplace and in romance, it is clearly... See, the thing is that all of this is true, but then it's different to how other people think of protagonists, because some people may be envious of protagonists, they may be annoyed by them. So, and that's the one thing that, like, I'm very reassured the fact that I am what I think I am, because this is all what I've really assumed I was, and it's very nice to read all of this because I never read any of these when I took it in health a few months ago, but it's very, very reassuring to know this. But at the same time, it's like I'm very insecure because there is nothing in here that says people think of protagonists as annoying. Because if they have kind hearts and other protagonists are hanging out with protagonists, then they would admire them and be like, hey, you're great. But then, like, say you're like an adventurer or something, you kind of maybe get a little annoying or jealous or envious of protagonists because you maybe be like, man, they think they're so good, they think they're so great, but not all the time do they. So that's also something to think about. So parenthood, let's check this out. What kind of a parent am I going to be? Protagonist parents will encourage their children to explore and grow. Recognizing and Protagonist parents will encourage their children to explore and grow, recognizing and appreciating the individuality of the people they bring into their world and help to raise. Yes, I've always told myself I'm going to understand their situation, because parents are great. You need parents. Parents are the people you should listen to, and you should always respect your parents. I have a very hard time doing that. But at the same time, like, I've always told myself I really want to understand their situation, because this isn't just parents, this is everybody. But a lot of people judge them without stepping into their shoes. You'd be like, man, you're so stupid, you're so annoying, you're horrible, like, you always get F's on your report cards, you're a horrible kid. And then maybe you didn't realize that he has an emotional disability to where he can't learn as fast as somebody else does. So, like, you always have to understand their situation. When they're kids and they're crying their balls out, you can't just be like, you're so annoying, shut the balls up. Like, shut the hell up, you're so annoying, I'm gonna freaking kill you if you don't stop crying. Like, you gotta understand why they're crying, and then you gotta comfort them. You can't just do that. Alright, career paths. This is gonna be really interesting because I want to be an author and a digital media designer, and I want to see how successful I will be at this. Always bear in mind that. Okay, at the heart of it, protagonists need to see how the story ends to feel and experience the gratitude and appreciation of the people they helped in order to be happy. I do. That is very true. Very, very true. I don't have much to say about that, but that is absolutely true. Like, they completely just did that. All right, habits. All right. I like how he's like a knight kind of a guy. It's like, what in the world? All right. So, people with the protagonist personality type are intelligent, warm, idealistic, charismatic, creative, social. With this wind at their backs, protagonists are able to thrive in many diverse roles at any levels of any level of seniority. Yeah, I said that right. All right. Moreover, they are simply likable people, and this quality propels them to success wherever they have a chance to work with others. So I feel like I could do anything that someone sets me to, but obviously it will take practice. But anything that people throw at me, I feel like I could do. But I don't want to seem like selfish and be like, I can do everything. Like, I can't do anything, but with enough practice, anyone can do anything. If you do not know how to ice skate at all, it may take a long time for you, because people grow at their different speeds. But people learn at different speeds. But I feel like if they threw anything at me, I could learn it at some extent to some time frame. All right. Conclusion. Few personality types are as aspiring and charismatic as protagonists. Their idealism and vision allow protagonists to overcome many challenging obstacles more often than not, brightening the lives of those around them. Protagonists' imagination is invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet protagonists can be easily tripped up in areas where idealism and altruism are more of a liability than an asset, whether it is finding or keeping a partner, staying calm under pressure, reaching dazzling heights on the career ladder, or making difficult decisions. Protagonists need to put in a conclusion effort to develop their weaker traits and additional skills. Very true. Our premium profiles provided. Okay, well, yeah, whatever. All right, so that's very cool. That is very cool. All right, that is a little tidbit about me. That is so true. It told a lot about me. Some stuff that I didn't know, but some stuff that I was reassured about. Things that I kind of thought it was. So that was very cool experience for me. I did read. I suggest if you wanted to do this, you can just go to Google and type in 16 personalities, and it will be right there, because it's a very well-known test. So if you wanted to do it, just go to Google and type in 16 personalities. But last time I never read this, and I feel like it made a lot bigger impact when I read it, rather than just being like, oh, well, I'm a protagonist, and it informed me on a lot more. It was a lot more heart-touching. But thank you guys so much for staying this whole video. I don't know how long it is. It's probably very long. But thank you guys so much for sticking around and getting to know me a little bit more. I've been wanting you guys to kind of get to know who I am and my intentions about my goals and stuff. So, but you really don't know my goals in specific, but that is the idea of who I am. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. See you.